Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Strategic Planning Committee today. So we'll start off with the first item of the agenda, membership of the committee. We've had apologies from Councillor Mark Thompson and Councillor Joe Lawson. Councillor Asher, do you just want to introduce yourself, just press your button and just let...
So apologies from Councillor Jo Lawson, but she's ensured that I am here today to be in her place. Councillor Ali Arshad.
Okay, that's great, thank you. Okay, item 2, minutes of the previous meeting. Anything on those? Everyone happy to agree those as a record? You happy with that? Everyone in agreement who was here? Okay, they're agreed. Declarations and interest in lobbying. We'll go around in case any interest to declare. Councillor Sokol.
Yes, Chair. I had the email from Lidl applicant, I think, and the one objector spoke to me, I think about a couple of days ago, but did not take any action. No.
Councillor Arshad.
None from me.
Thank you. Like Councillor Sokol, I've had an email from Lidl, which I have noted. I have nothing else. Thank you.
Yes, excuse me. I too have had the Lidl email which I haven't read, and I will come to a conclusion based on these proceedings.
Thanks. And yeah, I've had probably the same one from the representative. That's it. Okay, admission of the public. It's a public meeting. We've got members of the public here. That's fine. Everything is on a public agenda. Any public questions?
No questions, Chair.
No. No deputations or petitions?
No deputations or petitions.
Okay. So we're going to the planning applications, site visit. So we did the site visit earlier today to the application site. And so we'll move on to agenda item 9, the application. Nick, hand over to you to present that.
Thank you, Chair. Good day, members. We'll just wait a minute for the slides to appear. Right. Thank you, Chair. Good day, members. My name is Nick Hurst, Case Officer for this application. This proposal seeks full planning permission for the erection of a food store with associated access, parking, servicing and landscaping works. The application was brought to committee due to the level of public objection received, which includes a petition with approximately 160 signatures in opposition. The site is adjacent to Blackmorefoot Road in Crossland Moor. It would be accessed from Turnstone Way, a road recently built to serve a new residential estate on the former St Luke's Hospital site. It should be noted that this image is out of date and most, if not all, of the houses have now been completed. The site is brownfield land that has been cleared since the former hospital was demolished. It slopes down from east to west, and of note, the blue denotes listed buildings and the green trees with tree preservation orders. The site falls within part of a mixed-use allocation within the local plan. The mixed uses identified within the local plan are residential and retail. The adjacent residential development achieves the local plan's aims for housing at this site, with no more expected. This image just shows the final development plan for the residential. It's not part of this application, but just to show what's been done elsewhere on the allocation. As per this plan and the local plan allocation, retail has been intended and expected for this part of the site throughout. So the site is currently fenced off with this image just showing the general arrangement taken at the moment. You can just off screen there see one of the protected trees. And again, this image is from the Blackmorefoot Road and Turnstone Way junction with that, again, mature tree, subject to a TPO. This is a proposed site plan. The new building would be adjacent to the boundary with Turnstone Way with parking to the front and rear. The existing TPO tree in the site would be felled, although landscaping, including new tree planting, would be provided around the site boundary. These are the proposed elevations. The frontage, facing towards Blackmorefoot Road, would be largely glazed for an active and engaging frontage. Natural stone would be the secondary material on the front elevation, with other less prominent elevations being modern cladding. As noted, the site is currently sloped. To enable a developable plateau, excavation works are proposed within with retaining walls required along parts of the north, south and west boundaries. These would, however, be largely set back from the public realm and screened by the new building. And here we do just have an indicative 3D render of the site once complete. The report before members outline Office's full assessment of the proposal. In terms of land use, the site is part of a mixed-use allocation, with this part of the allocation expected to accommodate retail, such as that proposed. Nevertheless, as a main town centre use, outside of an identified main town centre, a retail sequential test and retail impact assessment have been undertaken. The purposes of these assessments is to try and direct development towards nearby local centres to protect their viability and vitality. As per the assessment contained within the Officer report, this development could not be suitably accommodated in a nearby local centre and has been demonstrated not to harm their viability and vitality. As an update to members, yesterday, after the written update was published, we received an additional representation from representatives of Tesco, who have objected to the proposal. Their previous objections are detailed and considered in the report. The two final points received yesterday are that, in their view, this development could prevent the former Kirklees College site on Trinity Street coming forward, which currently has a approved and implemented permission from Lidl already. Tesco suggests that Lidl should enter either a condition or a legal agreement preventing this site from being developed until the Kirklees College site is. Considering this, officers remain of the view set out in the report that these two sites will serve different catchment areas and therefore one would not prejudice the other, and we'd also question whether such conditions and obligations are appropriate. Furthermore, development of the Kirklees College site has commenced, as said before, and represents an implemented permission. The second point raised by Tesco is that the assessment made is on the presumption the site will operate as a discount food store operator. Once permission is granted, in theory, a different operator than Lidl could take on the site and function differently. They therefore state a condition is needed relating to the specific use, number of lines sold, and space limitations. Officers are already recommending a similar condition, although without a cap on the number of lines sold, and officers are of the view the approach taken by Tesco would not be reasonable, necessary, or particularly enforceable. With that concluded, in summary, the site is allocated for retail and local plan and is considered to comply with the policies relating to retail sequential tests and retail impact assessments. Accordingly, the proposed land use is considered appropriate. Regarding the design, that proposed is considered visually appropriate and will accommodate well into the built environment and would not harm the identified heritage assets. The tree loss on site is a negative of the proposal, but has been concluded to be necessary to facilitate the proposal, and the harm would be outweighed by the proposed planting mitigation and the other public benefits that this development would bring. Regarding neighbouring residents, the building is well spaced from adjacent dwellings and would not result in overbearing, overshadowing or overlooking. Other matters, such as noise, odour or light pollution, have been considered and may be controlled via condition. On the matter of highways, I will invite Chris Dowse from Highways to comment on that.
Thanks, Nick. Access to the site from a priority junction on Turnstone Way. As members saw today, there is an access at that position that was built as part of the outline. That is to be repositioned approximately 10 metres to the north, that's towards Blackmore Foot Road, to accommodate the internal layout of the store. Access to Turnstone Way will be from the existing access on Blackmore Foot Road. As we saw, that isn't completely finished at the moment, and it will incorporate, obviously the line markings are still to do, the final surfacing, and it will incorporate a pedestrian island to enable pedestrians to cross what is quite a wide junction. A review of accidents showed there's been no accidents currently at that junction or in the vicinity that would warrant any further investigation or cause any concerns. There are bus stops within convenient walking distance on Blackmore Foot Road, within 100 metres of the site. They're served by a service frequency of about 6 buses per hour up and down Blackmore Foot Road, so it's considered to be accessible by public transport. In terms of car parking, it includes a 93-space car park which incorporates motorcycle parking, parent and child plus EV charging. This level of parking is appropriate for a store of that size, of price ratios per floor area go, and is considered acceptable. Junction assessment, 2 junctions have been assessed. That's the site access itself onto Turnstone Way and the junction with Blackmore Foot Road. Assessment shows that both junctions operate within capacity. That includes traffic growth to 2028, future design year, and incorporates committed developments of Black Cats and Turnstone Way. And from a highway perspective, the development is considered acceptable. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chris. Other material considerations are considered and addressed within the report. This includes matters such as drainage and ecology, with a net gain contribution of £37,030 to be secured via 106 agreement. 60 individual representations have been received in response to the proposal, with approximately half in support. However, the one representation with the petition counts as one in that regard. So as I say, we have the petition in objection with 160 signatures on it. The concerns raised by the objectors are considered and addressed within the report. Therefore, officers recommend approval, subject to securing conditions and a Section 106 agreement per the amended recommendation within the update. Thank you, Chair. Nothing further to add.
Cheers, thank you. So we've got one speaker. So Jack, you're speaking on behalf of the applicant. You've got, is it 3 minutes? 3 minutes. 3 minutes, I forgot that. 3 minutes, you've got a little clock there. So, yeah, off you go.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Nick. I'm Jack Charlton, the Lidl Senior Acquisitions Manager for the Yorkshire area. We welcome the officer's recommendation to approve the application. I do not propose to repeat in detail the policy matters which have already been covered thoroughly in the officer's report. The principle of retail use on the site has been established since the grant of outline planning permission in 2015. The proposals represent a multi-million-pound investment by Lidl into Crossland Moor, which would create up to 40 full-time equivalent jobs for local people and would also redevelop a brownfield site. Importantly, the new Lidl store would provide improved and affordable choice of food shopping for residents in this part of Huddersfield. During our consultation and engagement with the community, a recurring theme was that the Lidl food store in this location would significantly benefit older people, as well as local people who do not drive and who struggle to access shops further afield. There is a significant community support for the proposal, and since the submission of the planning application, we have worked hard to respond positively to the comments we've received during the consultation period. I'll briefly highlight a number of the benefits of the Lidl development. The proposal represents Lidl's latest state-of-the-art of designs for their stores, and as part of this we'll incorporate solar panels on our roof, which will generate 25% of the store's energy requirements. It'll also include new rapid electrical vehicle charging spaces within the car park. The design of the store has been developed to suit the local context, and the elevations of the store include locally sourced stone. The scheme includes tree planting and landscaping buffer to the perimeter of the site. Informed by the responses and advice received during the consultation period, your officers have concluded that the application meets the requirement of national and local policy, including the relevant town centre and retail policy tests. I therefore urge you to support your officer's recommendation and approve the application before you today. I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Right, so we've got no further speakers, so over to members. Does anybody have any comments? Councillor Asher, do you want to speak? Okay.
Thank you for all the speakers. Look, whenever there's an opposition to a planning application, it's always worth noting because everybody has a position on this and it's worth hearing their position. But when we're talking about this particular space here, from what I understand, it was identified and it was earmarked for such a purpose in the first instance. And when I look at some of the other developers who would do things or haven't done things historically, you know, Lidl have talked about the materials used, the planting of the trees in keeping and everything, and kind of like sticking to everything that we as a council have identified is a must. So kind of in that sense, I'm happy with that. The creation of jobs, 40 jobs, and hopefully from that locality as well. The training and development and the upskilling of people is going to be immense. If you're a local shopkeeper, I can see the objections, but I don't feel it's infringing. With what I've seen of the shops and where they are laid out, it's not infringing too much on their business because they are the local convenience stores, and there is a need for something bigger and that's more cost effective when you look at the type of customers that are going to be going there as well. And then the impact of cars isn't going to be that great because the affordability and the deprivation of some of the areas, there isn't that many vehicles from what I've seen. So I'd like to get behind this, and I'd like to think it's going to add to the community, and it's going to add to the workforce that's going to be created and jobs that are going to be created in the community as well.
Thank you. Councillor Pinnock, you're next.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, the officer's recommendation for this is to approve it. Yes, we would quite often look askance at applications that are not in town centres for this type of development. But it does seem to me that this site is sufficiently far from Huddersfield Town Centre to be in a position where it can serve quite a large, potentially, and growing amount of housing, because there is an application, a permission for 700 houses just a little further up the road, and that, it seems to me, along with the access from places further afield like Slathwaite and possibly Marsden, although that's quite a long way from here, it still seems to me it's within the potential catchment area. And I don't think, personally, that the development of such a store as this on this site would materially affect supermarkets in the town centre. I just can't see it, because the town centre is in a different sort of position in that sense. So I think what we've got here is a development that will be in the round. I dare say some small local shopkeepers might say something different, but in the round, I think this will be a benefit to the local population, either as it exists at the moment or as it potentially will be in a few years' time. And I think there are enough safeguards built into this to robustly defend any suggestion that it should not be built there. I am therefore willing to propose the officer's recommendation for this site, and I do so with pleasure.
Thanks. So I've had that moved, the officer recommendation. Councillor Armour.
Yes, thank you, Chair. First of all, I'll second the officer's recommendation, get that out of the way. I'm in favour of retail competition. I believe it keeps prices down for customers. We've got a cost of living crisis last time I looked. It's for the greater good, I think, the greater competition. It's, to some extent, this store is future-proofed. As we've heard, there are other, at least one large development coming forward in the area, so there's a bit of future-proofing going on here. It will serve an increasing population. And it will also tidy up what's an eyesore brownfield site at the moment. I'm always in favour of brownfield sites being restored and put back to use. So as I say, I'm happy to second it, and I don't think there's anything more to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Sokol.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I remember when we granted planning permission to this application back a few years, I was on the planning committee sitting myself, and that time we all agree on the to give planning permission, but it was a max units. Yeah. And therefore that time I remember quite a few members on this committee, they thought it would be better if we had some food store over there or any small size. Some member even mentioned the filling station, yeah. But I think I personally think because it's a brownfield area, we always have a brown construction, brownfield area. This is brownfield area, part of this estate, 200 houses. And as Councillor Arshad Ali have said, there are jobs going over there, 40 jobs, it will create 40 jobs, yeah. I know they're small corner shop, they might be worried about the impact on their business, but I don't think those small units are a bit far away from this. It's mainly might be used by the customer coming from within the area. One thing I would like to ask the applicant, because he say in the report with some even those porters, you know, who say, yeah, we would like this unit. They even asking there's a public toilet, no, customer toilets inside the, which applicants not agree. Is it possible to consider that? Public, it's a big store, customer come, elderly people, they spend some time, yeah, or children, yeah, they need some facility over there. If we carry on, applicant or the big store, they come, no, we can't provide, we can't, so everywhere there will be no public convenience, even outside there of the store. So I think applicant will consider, I'm not asking put a condition, but if it's possible, we can do the condition of public, not public customer toilet. So I'm happy with go along with my colleagues anyway.
Thank you, Councillor. So it can't be conditioned, but if you want to answer that, you can do.
Yeah, customer toilets will be included in this scheme. They're included as part of the plans.
Yeah, that's good. But it doesn't say on that. That's good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone.
You've just reminded me of something. As a council, we have our own electric vehicle charging point plan as well. Is there any way we can get the Lidl EV charging point plan dovetail into ours, quite possibly, if that's possible?
I don't know if it's part of the plan, but I think, Chris, you said that
This incorporates two EV charging bays within this car park.
so we'll have it's not a plan.
Obviously for customers.
Part of the wider infrastructure. Yeah. Okay. So thanks, members. We've had mover and a seconder for officer's recommendation for approval. So should we go to I think we can go to the vote now.
Councillor Sokol,
For
Councillor Arshad,
Second. Yes.
Councillor Pinnock,
For.
Councillor Armour,
Or
Councillor Homewood.
For.
It's unanimous, Chair.
Okay. So the application has been approved, and that was the only item today. So thanks everybody. We can close the meeting now.